Today, I'm gonna react to some absurd gambling TikToks and gambling stories as a gambling addict myself. I'm in recovery. I made my last bet November the 12th of 2022, so hopefully by the end of this video, you can understand what the hell is going on in the brain of someone with a gambling addiction. But before I dive into that, I have just one favor to ask from you. There's so many of you that regularly watch this channel, but you haven't yet hit that subscribe button. If you do me the favor of subscribing to this channel, then my promise to you is that I'm going to continue to work hard each and every day to spread the message that gambling addiction is real, talk about topics that you've been wanting to hear, and bring on guests that have incredible stories.
And attemptions are correct.
Yep, that was all me.
FanDuel was attempted for $200. It did not go through. FanDuel went through for $25. FanDuel was attempted for $250. It did not go through. FanDuel was attempted for $50 twice. It did not go through. FanDuel actually went through for $200.
Actually went through.
$50. These are all happening on September 3rd. FanDuel was attempted. Well, went through for $150 on September 3rd.
I mean, that's gotta be what, like well over, are we pushing close to like $7,000 or $8,000 there? Maybe more? Am I way off? I guess the thing is like the total dollar amount is relative, right? Maybe this guy has the money, it doesn't matter. But what's really concerning to me is the number of deposits. Like if someone's well off and they put a couple $1,000s into a sports betting app, okay, I guess good for them as long as it's not causing any damage. But these small transactions over and over again, the high quantity, it shows that money went in, it was lost very quickly, and there was a frustration to chase those losses. So more money went in over and over again. In the beginning, I mean, what we saw like 45 seconds of her reading transactions that were just in the first day, September 3rd, was it? Just over and over again. I mean, Lewis, man, if you see this, please reach out to me because I did the exact same thing. I would make all these deposits over and over again. And the truth was, I was a gambling addict, man. I was making these bets, chasing my losses because I couldn't live with the fact that I had lost money. I couldn't live with the fact that I was accepting defeat. So while I hope that this is more comedic than anything else and it's not that big of a deal, these signs are a little bit alarming that there's so many deposits. And it's not to call you out, it's to say this is the behavior of anyone that develops a problem with gambling.
Can you tell me about it? What's the most money you've ever made?
None, because I'm so far in the fucking hole.
Oh, you're down?
Yeah.
How much are you down?
For like 100,000.
What's like the most you've ever won on a hand?
I don't know, like 10,000.
So I mean, had some big wins. Here, put this on red.
Oh my God. I hate the internet, bro. There's so many people that are motivating other people to keep gambling, even when they know it's bad for them. I think this is likely just staged, but it's just so stupid to think that a kid that's seeing this is like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe I can give it one more shot. Maybe I can never give up. And then they go and they gamble away their birthday money, or they go away, they go and gamble away their college fund. It is just such a terrible, terrible way that we're doing things online. But if you listen to what she was saying, right, she's down $100,000, but she's being told to remember the wins. When you're trying to stop gambling, you're supposed to be doing the opposite, right? Remembering the losses, remembering the negatives, not the 1 or 2 times that you had a big win. So this guy sucks. Screw this guy. Hopefully it's just staged and it's a load of crap and it's not actually ruining this woman's life. But you have to remember when you're watching content online that people usually aren't out for your best interest. You can make assumptions about me making a video like this, but I'm just trying to share the truth as someone who went through it.
Method I called the Blackout method, very popular amongst my fans. And it's been a consistent, very consistent experience that I completely black out, like no recollection of what happened. And I wake up with like hundreds of thousands. The worst it's ever been is I blacked out, lost $1.5 million, but then I blacked out again the next night in an effort of making it back and I made.
He's now telling you that the best way to make money is to black out. And while he might be kidding, he might not be kidding. But so let's just say he's kidding or sticking to a character. How many kids are going to try that just for fun? Oh, dude, let's black out and see what happens when we go to the casino. You know, maybe they don't actually anticipate themselves winning $1 million, but the behavior being encouraged is so dangerous, man. When I make these videos, right, and I have these kinds of conversations, I sound like a stick in the mud, man. I spent years gambling every single day. I was drinking a lot. I was smoking. I was going out with my friends. Some of those things I still do. But when you're trying to make a change in your life, when you're trying to be better, and this is the kind of influence that you have. You're trying to find your path in life, and someone's telling you, dude, just black out, bet thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, and you'll be rich and happy. It just really sucks. And it's something where, like, if I was 18 years old now and I saw this, I wouldn't think, like, wow, this guy's so admirable and cool, but I'd think, how the fuck is this guy making this a career? And can I do something similar to do that? It's not so much like he's putting himself out there to be a hero. I hope no one views him as an actual hero, but it's kind of a test case of, like, how can I deceive my audience? How can I do crazy shit and get rewarded for it? And that's the real danger there with someone like Togi, with most of the online streamers. Let's go to the next one. It can't be worse than that.
Would I have a gambling addiction? I disagree. I disagree because they say, you know, you have to bet big to win big. But my friend Teresa taught me a very long time ago when I began gambling that you're winning if you're having fun. So if you're losing your money, but like you really are just in it for the games and like you love games and you're having fun, you're winning. You're winning. So no, I'm not an addict. I just like having fun.
Well, it wasn't worse. We can agree on that, I hope. And there's a little bit of a truth to that, right? Like, these groups, these casinos, these apps, they exist to make money, yes, on their side, but people play them usually in the beginning for fun, to make things more exciting, to blow off some steam, to kill time, to have a stake in the game. And if you are doing it for fun, great. The problem is we're not teaching anyone where the line between fun and a problem is. And we're allowing people to use having fun or blowing off steam or making the game more exciting as an excuse to continue something that's become an addiction. And so you could be a gambling addict and still be having fun from time to time. But if you've developed a dependency on gambling where it's the only thing that feels like fun, that's where it becomes a major problem. So, Katie, I can't say you're 100% wrong here, but someone who's a gambling addict can still have fun gambling. It's just that you don't stop, and eventually the consequences hit you.
Every day I knew what I was going to get. I knew every day I was going to wake up and gamble, and there was some comfort in that. And I knew I was going to gamble until my last dollar was gone. And there was a sense of relief when that happened. As a person with a gambling problem, whenever I had money in my account, I was always thinking about what would I gamble on? What would I bet on next? And there was this constant preoccupation. I couldn't be a good father. I couldn't be a good husband. I couldn't be a good community member. I couldn't be a good friend. I just wanted to gamble and think about gambling every waking hour. But when that last dollar was gone, there was a sense of relief. And this was that similar sense of relief. Gambling is growing, and I want to be a part of the solution so that other people don't feel that they have to hide or don't feel that they don't have someone to talk to. So we go around to different colleges.
Wow. Dan hits two really important points. I want to start with the first one.
All around the country. Every day I knew what I was going to get.
Every day I knew what I was going to get. So often, people will say, why would you gamble? You have no control over the outcome. What's wrong with you? Why would you keep doing this? You're putting your money, your trust in something that you have no control over. But in the mind of a gambling addict, the only place where we feel like we have control is gambling. And it sounds weird. It sounds like it shouldn't make sense, but we know that when we go and place a bet for the next 9 innings, the next 60 minutes, we're going to be locked in watching what's happening in this sport. And it creates this weird comfort where we don't know what's going to happen in the game, but we know there is a game. We know we have money on it. We know at the end it's either a win or a loss. It creates a dependency. It's really strange to say out loud.
But when that last dollar was gone, there was a sense of relief.
And when that last dollar was gone, there was a sense of relief. Like, thank God I just lost all my money. That's got to sound crazy to someone without a gambling problem, but to me it makes total sense because you're riding this roller coaster where you desperately want this sense of control, but you really deep down don't have it, even though you want it and it feels like you should have it and it feels like it's good. The up, the down, the stress, the anxiety, it all stops when the ammo's done. When you don't have any more money, you can't cause any more damage. And that's why it's a relief. Even though it's not necessarily a good thing, and we know there's consequences, there is a relief to be had when you can't hurt yourself anymore. I know Dan's doing well in his recovery. I hope that if you are listening to this video, you're doing okay in yours, or if you're not in recovery, I hope that you're doing okay in general. Let's go to the next one.
Explosion was actually caused by a successful business owner who ended up gambling and losing a lot of his money at this casino, which led to him crashing out. So this all happened at the Harvey Resort Hotel back in 1980 when a man named John Burgess lost about $750,000 gambling at their casino. And because he was so angry he lost all of his money, he came up with a plan to get it back, which involves this explosive device that's booby-trapped with over 1,000 pounds of dynamite and was also so complex to the point where there was no possible way to even defuse it. And once he was completed with the device, he delivered it to the hotel disguised as a copy machine. But once they opened it up, they found a note explaining that it was an explosive device and that he was demanding $3 million in exchange for information on how to move it safely. Now, the FBI, as well as many other experts, deemed it to be way too dangerous to be moving over half a ton of explosives, so they ended up trying to defuse it. But this device was actually so sophisticated to where there were multiple power sources and triggers for it to detonate. And the FBI has also came up with multiple replicas of the device like you see here, which to this day has still never been defused. Which obviously means they failed to defuse it, and it caused over $68 million worth of damage when accounting for inflation. And I usually do talk about structural engineering, but when 1,000 pounds of explosives goes off, there's nothing really to say about the structural integrity of the building. But the guy who planned all this was eventually arrested a year later after he was ratted out by his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend and was sentenced to life in prison.
God damn. Well, by no means advocating for any of this. It's crazy and should never be done. But a gambling addiction leads people to do crazy stuff. There's a saying that someone who's a gambling addict has kind of 3 possibilities. It's prison, insanity, or death if they keep gambling. Probably 2 of the 3. I would say a little bit of insanity and definitely prison. There's so many crimes that are committed by people, and it's fueled by a desperate anxiety, a frustration, a sense of needing to get back to being whole. And we see things like embezzlement and white-collar crimes usually not exploding a casino, in fairness, but there's a ton of crime that's associated with problem gambling that really we aren't talking about as a society. Yes.
And not physically get addicted to gambling. You either stop gambling or you become a multi-millionaire is really the science behind it. Have you ever met a gambling addict in your life? Other than myself, gambling addict. I don't think they exist because A, you either run out of money and then you can't gamble anymore.
If you're watching this and you watch this guy, I'm genuinely sorry, even if it might be enjoyable. It's a big shtick, right? Obviously, he's bullshitting. But I just think about his target audience. 13 to 20-year-old kids. They're being told gambling is cool, you can't get addicted to it, you're gonna be fine. If we have a gambling problem, it's funny. Laugh it off and win it back next time, bud. We're playing with fire here, guys. And this guy's making millions of dollars convincing you to lose all of your money. I think that this kid is going to cause so much damage to the people that come across his content. Now, you might be saying, Rob, he's about to confess to a gambling addiction. He's going to tell you about his gambling addiction. That's not all that he did. But let's give him the benefit of the doubt. This is where the story starts. I'll show you where the story ends, and you can draw the conclusion for yourself. So let's watch this one first.
I've lost over $1 million gambling on online crypto casinos. I've been making over 6 figures a month for the last 2 years with my online businesses, but instead of stacking that money for my future, I've been throwing it away. I picked gambling over family, I picked gambling over friends, I picked gambling over self-care and self-development, and worst of all, I picked gambling over living life the way it's supposed to be lived. In my worst period of my crash out and downfall, I was wagering over $1 million per day on online casinos, playing $10,000 to $20,000 blackjack hands, $20,000 to $100,000 slot buys, you name it, I was betting on it. This problem has sparked issues with my family, my friends, and it's just not worth it.
Okay, so you saw that, and you're like, damn, like, he's going through it. I feel bad for him. This is awful. Let's send him a message. Let's comment on the video. Let's follow the account. Make sure that he's going to get himself into recovery. We're going to see an inspiring journey. This was yesterday.
I have a massive update regarding the $250K loan. Due to most people in the comments saying they think I should do it, I actually went ahead and accepted the offer. I should have the funds within 48 hours, so if you're interested in seeing what happens with this, go ahead, drop a follow so you stay updated.
Oh, yeah, it was all bullshit. This kid is a recovering addict, but he films himself and streams himself gambling. He made up an entire story for 2 weeks, posting every single day about his gambling addiction, only to then have people tell him in the comments he should take out a $250,000 loan and win it all back. And now he's doing it and he's streaming it. So look, he's building an audience, not huge. He didn't do that great of a job, but he's building an audience over the last couple of weeks, posting every single day about his addiction, building the most vulnerable audience possible because this is going to only go to people who have gambling addictions or people who know someone with a gambling addiction. He's telling them, "Oh, well, come watch me as I win it all back, and you can too." This guy sucks. And if you see this video, I'm calling you out, and you should send me a message because I need to get you on a FaceTime and tell you how much I hate you.
I think you have a problem.
No, he doesn't! You don't listen to him, Squidward! You keep playing until you win! What's this?
The deed to my house.
Okie dokie then, carry on.
Mr. Krabs is literally just the casino. I want to make a video fully about Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob and all the gambling mechanics that are involved in it because he's a great representation of just greed, right? I think that's kind of his character archetype. And Squidward here is very much struggling with a problem. He's got someone telling him that he thinks he has a problem. And then you got the casino sending you the push notifications, telling you to keep going because you're going to be a big winner. You don't have a problem. You're just not there yet. You just got to keep grinding it, right? So while it's a cartoon, it's a little more lighthearted. It's a metaphor that there's going to be people out there that are going to tell you the truth. There's people out there that are going to be manipulating you for money. You need to choose who to listen to because if you keep listening to the group that's manipulating you for money, you're going to keep losing money. Now, look, if you're struggling with a gambling addiction, I have a website where I lay out all the resources about how I actually got better. In addition, I have this video, which I'm going to link here now on the screen. Give it a watch because it goes into exactly how I quit gambling and stop listening to the crap that you hear online. Gambling is addictive. It's not profitable and it can ruin your life. But we need to focus on getting better together, one day at a time.